Welcome everyone. It is Erev Shavuot, and we have a big yontiv ahead of us. In my family also we have tremendous smachot. Baruch Hashem, we're making an offer of this Shabbos, and a chasna, a small chasna, socially distant chasna, but a wedding, Mirz Hashem, on Monday night. We're very excited, very much looking forward to the smachot ahead. But first, Chag HaShavuos, and it seems to be no coincidence whatsoever. There's a theme. We celebrate Matan Torah, we celebrate Kabbalah Torah, but there's a theme that I think just permeates everything. We're told that the Torah was given on Har Sinai, and the Gemara teaches us that Har Sinai, we saw this in the Daf Yomi not too long ago, Har Sinai was not a very big mountain, it was a low mountain. And Hashem specifically chose Har Sinai as the place for Nesinas Torah because it wants to send a message. To go ahead and accept the Torah, there has to be a certain humility, a certain humbleness. There has to be room for other things. Moshe Rabbeinu saw his first revelation of Hashem. He saw it by a sneh. No coincidence. Sinai, sneh, similar language. The sneh is a lowly bush, not an impressive cedar tree. It is a lowly bush. Once again, to go ahead and have a real hashras hashchina, to accept Shechina, there has to be a certain diminishment, a certain humbleness. Moshe, of course, no coincidence, the Nos in HaTorah, because he was Anav Mikol Adam. There was room for others. Avram Avinu's relation with Hashem was because Anochi Afar Va'efer. He saw his place in the cosmos. And in fact, the Medrash tells us that Hashem specifically chose to give the Torah by Dabar Shel Moshe b'Midbar Sinai in last week's parsha. And Chazal understand the Midbar Sinai. Mikan shanu chachamim b'shlosha dvarim nitna Torah. Hashem gave the Torah via three themes, three ideas: be'esh, uvamayim, uvamidbar. Be'esh. How do we know Ba'esh? Because the Torah says, V'arei Sinai ashan kulo. There was smoke, there was fire. We'll talk about that in a second. Mayim minayin. So the pasuk says, Gam shamayim natelfu, gam avim natfu mayim. There was rains, there was water coming down. And b'midbar shene'emar v'yidaber Hashem Moshe b'midbar Sinai. So what is the theme of these three qualities? Eish and midbar and mayim. So first of all, when it comes, they all have a quality. The Gemara says, Ma elu, the Medrash says, Ma elu chinam. They're all free. Anyone can make a fire. The desert is a place that is accessible to anyone. Water is, in general, plentiful. So too, everyone can seek out. Anyone who's thirsty can go ahead and seek out water. But more than that, the Medrash goes on to say that when it comes to mayim, its tendency is it always goes to the lowest place. It recedes to the lowest place. Mayim symbolize, on the one hand, chayim, a life. Mayim chayim, Torah's chayim. But to have that sense of Torah's chayim, water always goes to the lowest place. A sense of anava, a sense of humility, making room for others, for something else, for something bigger than ourselves. Same thing when it comes to Hefker. The Medrash tells us that who can accept Torah? V'yidaber Hashem Moshe b'midbar Sinai ela kol misha ose atzmo kamidbar. Hefker, a person makes himself Hefker. I'm not garnished. I'm not anything. So if you make yourself Hefker, then you can be Koneh Chachmas Torah. Hashem gave the Torah in the Midbar because that's the environment, that's the posture when a person can really receive. But once we've worked on those midos, and we have that sense of anava, that sense of humility, Moshe Anav Mikol Adam, we have the ability to receive, then I think we bring in our Eish. And then the Eish comes in, the fire, the passion, the energy that we can go ahead and invest. But it's no coincidence that one of the themes of Kabbalah Torah over and over again is anava, is a sense of humility. Because if we're so full of ourselves, if we think it's all about us, so there's no room for Ribbon Shalom, there's no room for a Torah Hashem. And perhaps one of the many lessons that we take out of the past 10, 12, 14 weeks is, we've been humbled. We've certainly been humbled. We thought that we were in charge, we control, we rule, we govern. And all of a sudden a microscopic little speck of something that we don't really even understand fully has shut us down. Has shut the world down. That's a very humbling experience. But from that humbling experience can be something very ennobling, that can become very elevating, that can go ahead and pick us up, that can enable us to perceive and to cognize that there is something bigger than ourselves, greater than ourselves. And if we do so, that's exactly how you're Mekabel HaTorah. That's how Moshe Rabbeinu could become the greatest of all of our Nevi'im, because he was Anav Mikol Adam. Avram Avinu right up there, because Anochi Afar Va'efer. And Midbar Sinai is memorialized as the place, even though we don't know where that mountain is. It's an anonymous mountain, but it's memorialized as the place, Sinai, as the place of the greatest revelation, the greatest opportunities for growth. And may we be zoche this Chag HaShavuos to become anavim, to become mekablim, so we too can ennoble ourselves, elevate ourselves, and achieve tremendous growth. Have a wonderful, wonderful Yom Tov.